What if I told you that in the next 3 minutes, you could completely change how a woman feels about you? Not by changing who you are. Not by pretending to be someone else. Not by using cheesy pickup lines or manipulative tactics. But by understanding one simple psychological principle that most men completely ignore. 3 minutes. That's all it takes to shift from invisible to irresistible. From just another guy to the man she can't stop thinking about. And here's the craziest part. You've probably already been in this situation before. You've had these 3 minutes handed to you on a silver platter. And you let them slip away because you didn't know what to do with them. My name is Laurin Ponce, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to make a woman want you in 3 minutes or less. Not a magic trick, not a secret formula, but psychology. Real, proven, biological psychology that works every single time. Let's start with a question. Have you ever met a woman and felt an instant connection? Like you just clicked. Like there was something there that you couldn't explain. And then, somehow, it faded. The conversation died. The energy shifted. And you walked away thinking, what just happened? You had your 3 minutes. And you didn't know how to use them. Here's what you need to understand. The human brain makes decisions about attraction faster than you can blink. Within seconds of meeting someone, we've already decided if there's potential. Everything after that is just confirmation of that initial feeling. This is not a theory. This is neuroscience. And women are particularly good at this. Thousands of years of evolution have wired them to make rapid assessments about the men they encounter. Safe or dangerous. Confident or insecure. Leader or follower. She decides all of this in the first few minutes. Sometimes in the first few seconds. So if you're not making an impact in those first 3 minutes, you're fighting an uphill battle for the rest of the interaction. But if you know what to do in those 3 minutes, you can create a feeling that lasts for weeks. Let me break down exactly how this works. The first minute is about presence. Most men walk into an interaction scattered. They're thinking about what to say. They're worried about how they look. They're nervous about making a mistake. Their energy is everywhere except where it needs to be. And she feels that. She senses that you're not fully there, that your attention is split, that you're in your head instead of in the moment. Here's what you need to do instead. When you approach a woman or when she approaches you, take a breath, literally. Pause for just 1 second. Ground yourself in your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Bring your attention fully to the present moment. Then look at her. Really look at her. Not with intensity that feels creepy, but with presence that feels rare. In a world where everyone is distracted, where everyone is on their phone, where everyone's attention is fragmented, a man who is fully present is magnetic. She will feel seen by you in a way she rarely feels seen by anyone. This doesn't require any special words. It requires you to actually be there. Not your anxiety, not your hopes, not your fear of rejection. Just you, fully in your body, fully in the moment. That's minute 1. Now minute 2. This is where most men make their biggest mistake. They think they need to impress. They think they need to prove their value. So they start talking. They start listing accomplishments. They start trying to make her laugh or showing off. This does the opposite of what you want. When you try to impress, you communicate that you don't think you're enough on your own. You're trying to add things to yourself to make up for some lack. And she can feel that lack. She might not be able to name it, but she senses it. Instead of trying to impress, do something counterintuitive. Show genuine curiosity about her. Not interview-style questions. Not the same questions every other guy asks. Real curiosity about who she is as a person. Ask her something that makes her think. Ask her opinion about something. Ask her what she's passionate about. Ask her what makes her come alive. And here's the key. When she answers, really listen. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say next. Don't be waiting for your turn to talk. Be fully present with her answer. This is so rare that it will stand out immediately. Most men are so focused on themselves, on how they're coming across, on whether she likes them, that they completely miss her. They're having a conversation with themselves while she's right there. When you actually listen, when you actually care about what she's saying, you create a feeling of connection that most women rarely experience. And connection is the foundation of attraction. This doesn't mean you agree with everything she says. It doesn't mean you pretend to like things you don't. It means you're genuinely interested in understanding who she is. That's minute 2. Now minute 3. This is the moment of truth. This is where most men either advance or retreat. This is where you either create the feeling or you let it slip away. In minute 3, you need to communicate something without words. You need to communicate that you have standards. That you're not just another guy who will chase any woman who gives him attention. How do you do this? By not trying to keep the conversation going at all costs. By not filling every silence. By being willing to let the interaction end. Here's what I mean. After you've been present with her, after you've shown genuine curiosity, after you've created a moment of real connection, let there be a pause. Let there be a moment of silence. And in that silence, hold your ground. Don't rush to fill it with nervous chatter. Don't immediately ask another question. Don't try to extend the conversation just to stay in her presence. Just be comfortable with the silence. This communicates something powerful. It communicates that you're not desperate for her attention. That you're okay whether the conversation continues or ends. That you have a life and you're not trying to cling to hers. In that moment, she feels something shift. She realizes that you're different. That you're not like the other guys who hover and hope and try too hard. And that realization creates attraction. Now, you might be thinking that's it. 3 minutes. Presence, curiosity, and comfort with silence. Yes, that's it. But here's what makes it work. It's not a technique you apply. It's a way of being that you embody. You can't fake presence. You can't fake curiosity. You can't fake comfort with silence. Women will see through the act immediately. This only works if you actually become the man who is present, genuinely curious, and secure enough to be comfortable in silence. And that requires internal work. That requires you to actually have a life that makes you present. That requires you to actually be interested in people. That requires you to actually be comfortable with yourself. But here's the good news. You can start practicing this today. The next woman you talk to, whether it's a cashier, a barista, someone at work, or someone you're interested in, try this. For the first minute, just be present. Don't think about anything else. Don't worry about the outcome. Just be fully there with her. For the second minute, show genuine curiosity. Ask her something real and actually listen to the answer. For the third minute, let there be silence. Don't rush to fill it. Just be comfortable. And notice what happens. Notice how the energy shifts. Notice how she responds. Notice how you feel. This is not about getting a phone number or a date. This is about creating a feeling. And the feeling is what matters. Because here's what most men don't understand. Women don't fall in love with your resume. They don't fall in love with your pickup lines. They don't fall in love with how much money you make. They fall in love with how you make them feel. And in 3 minutes, you can make her feel seen, heard, and safe. You can make her feel like she's talking to a real man. Not another guy performing for her approval. That feeling is rare. That feeling is valuable. And that feeling creates attraction. Let me give you a real example of how this plays out. A guy walks into a coffee shop. He sees a woman he's interested in. Old him would have gotten nervous, overthought everything, and either said nothing or said too much. New him does this. He orders his coffee. When she happens to be nearby, he makes eye contact and smiles. Not a desperate smile. Just a genuine, warm smile. She smiles back. He doesn't rush over. He doesn't immediately try to start a conversation. He just goes about getting his coffee. Then, as they're both waiting, he says something simple. That's a good choice when he sees what she ordered. Or, long day, if she looks tired. Just a simple observation. No pressure, no agenda. She responds. He listens, really listens. He asks a follow-up question based on what she said. Not an interview question. Just genuine curiosity. She feels heard. She feels like he's actually interested in who she is. Not just trying to get something from her. Then there's a pause. A natural lull in the conversation. Old him would have panicked and said something awkward. New him just stands there comfortably, sipping his coffee, present and relaxed. In that pause, something shifts in her. She thinks, this guy is different. He's not trying to sell me anything. He's not trying to impress me. He's just here. She might extend the conversation. She might ask him a question. She might smile in a way that invites more. Or she might not. And that's okay too. Because new him doesn't need her to respond in any particular way. He's not attached to the outcome. He's just practicing being the man he wants to be. And that non-neediness is exactly what makes him attractive. Now, here's where most men will struggle with this. They'll try it once. They'll get a positive response. And then they'll immediately revert to old patterns. They'll get excited and start chasing. They'll get her number and start texting too much. They'll get a date and start planning their future together. This kills everything you just built. The 3 minutes isn't a trick to get her interested so you can then chase her. The 3 minutes is the beginning of a new way of interacting with women. That presence, that curiosity, that comfort, those need to continue in every interaction. When you text her, be present. Don't overthink every word. Just respond genuinely. When you're on a date, be curious. Don't perform. Don't try to impress. Just be interested in who she is. When there's silence, don't rush to fill it. Let the moment breathe. This consistency is what creates lasting attraction. Not a one-time trick, but a fundamental shift in how you show up. Let me take you deeper into the psychology of why this works. The female brain is wired to detect threat and safety. Throughout human history, women needed to quickly assess whether a man was dangerous or safe, whether he could protect or would harm. Your presence communicates safety. When you're fully there, not distracted, not anxious, not checking your phone, her brain registers that you're not a threat. You're not going to harm her. You're safe to be around. Your curiosity communicates interest without aggression. When you ask real questions and actually listen, you're telling her that you see her as a person, not just a body. This is incredibly rare and incredibly attractive. Your comfort with silence communicates confidence. When you don't need to fill every moment with words, you're showing that you're secure in yourself. You don't need constant validation. You're not desperate for her attention. These 3 things together create a psychological profile of a high-value man. A man who is safe, interested, and confident. A man any woman would be lucky to have. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect at this. You just need to be real. You don't need to have the perfect words. You just need to be present. You don't need to be the most interesting person in the world. You just need to be interested in her. You don't need to be smooth and suave. You just need to be comfortable in your own skin. This is accessible to every man watching this. Not because of some special talent, but because it's about being human. And you're already human. The only thing standing in your way is your own anxiety, your own fear of rejection, your own belief that you're not enough. And here's the truth. You are enough. Right now, in this moment, without changing anything. The problem isn't that you're not enough. The problem is that you've been trying too hard to prove that you are. And that trying, that proving, that performing, that's what's been pushing women away. So stop, just stop. For the next 3 minutes, just be. Be present, be curious, be comfortable, and watch what happens. Not because of a trick, but because you finally got out of your own way. Now, I want you to think about the next woman you'll meet. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's this weekend. She's just going about her life. She's been approached by countless men who all did the same thing. They tried to impress her. They tried to get her number. They tried to sell themselves. And then there's you. You're just present. Just curious. Just comfortable. You're not trying to get anything from her. You're not performing. You're not selling. You're just there. Real. Genuine. Present. Do you understand how rare that is? Do you understand how refreshing that feels to a woman? Do you understand how attractive that is? This is not manipulation. This is not a game. This is simply being the man you were always meant to be. The man who doesn't need to chase because he's the prize. The man who doesn't need to prove because he knows his worth. The man who doesn't need to perform because he's comfortable in his own skin. That man doesn't need tricks. That man doesn't need pickup lines. That man doesn't need to try. That man just is. And that is the man women want. So here's your challenge. The next time you have an opportunity with a woman, forget everything you think you know. Forget all the advice you've heard. Forget all the lines you've practiced. Just do these 3 things. Be present. Be curious. Be comfortable. For 3 minutes, that's it. And see what happens. Not because I told you to, but because you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting. Because you're ready to stop performing and start being. Because you're ready to become the man you've always known you could be. My name is Laurin Ponce. Now go be that man.